Beautiful. Good morning. We're out today at Patagonia Lake State Park. This is the Audubon Trail behind me. Patagonia Lake is that away. But, you know, it's really beautiful out today. We're going to be going to Tubac, Arizona, which is a Tubac Presidio. It's a state historic park. And we're going to be going to Tumacácori. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. But it's a national monument and they have some hiking trails back in there. So I'm hoping to do some hiking. So sorry about the hair situation. But that is what we're going to be doing today. And yeah. Welcome to Tubac Presidio State Historic Park. Entrance. This is cool. Tubac Presidio. The walking tour, it goes counterclockwise. It goes clockwise, I mean. Looks like you can walk all or part of it if you wanted. Tubac's 1885 schoolhouse is the second oldest standing school building in Arizona. The oldest is in Strawberry, also built in 1885. The school is made of adobe bricks plastered over with stucco. The school served the community of Tubac for 80 years and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. As many as 50 children in different grades shared the one classroom where they were taught lessons in reading, writing, and arithmetic in both Spanish and English. The teacher's salary was $80 a month. Oh, we gotta have a quarter to view. Lame. Stairway to the past. Descend the stairs, let your eyes adjust to the exhibit showing the actual remains, footings, and foundations of the 18th century Presidio, which over time was occupied by Spanish, Mexican, and American troops. A close examination shows at least 3 bones incorporated into the adobe grip. 3 bones. Creepy. Presidio foundation stones. Can you believe how far down we are? This is where they laid the first actual stones, back in the 1700s. But like that is how much dust and stuff has buried it since then. Pieces of the plaster show how the interior walls were finished, and the toys found in upper layers indicate that Tupac school children played among the ruins. No kidding. Whoa, this is cool. Also visible are parts of the Presidio's foundation, which were exposed in the 1974 excavations carried out by the Arizona State Museum and the University of Arizona. The Spanish mined this area for copper and gold, but mainly for silver, and arrastra is a primitive but effective system for crushing ore. Heavy, flat-bottom boulders like the ones you see here, attached to chains, were dragged over the ore by horse, mule, or manpower. Over time, the ore was pulverized into smaller and smaller pieces, home of a Spanish soldier. The setting is accurate in both size and style to an average family home of the Spanish colonial era. Soldiers' homes were small for 2 reasons. First, the most of the time was spent outdoors working, cooking, playing, and sleeping. I want to see this printing press they talked about. Here it is. Oh. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of work. Holy cow. And he was doing it right here. That's all that stuff in the background. Wow. We're like the only people here because they're having a huge outdoor festival. It's like some type of creative festival today. So let's go on to whatever the next piece is of this. Look at how cool it is though. The museum and everything. It's beautiful. The Rojas House was built by Raimundo and Inez Rojas, members of 2 pioneer Tubac families in the 1890s. Their daughter Luisa was born on the property in 1894 and lived in the house until shortly before her death in 1989. Holy crap! She was 105. Oh no, 1980. She was 95. Excuse me. Still, row houses like these have been used as residences for centuries. Oh, they were relatively easy to build and easy to extend with added rooms as families grew. Originally, the Rojas house had just 2 rooms and a fireplace. A kitchen was added in the south end in 1908. The adobe structure in the yard was most recently used as a tack house to hold equipment and related to horses. It began life as another row house and was in fact where Luisa Rojas was born. If anything's haunted, I think this place could be. Look at this. Tubac Presidio State Historic Park. Highly recommend the self-guided walking tour. That was really neat. As you can see behind me, What a cool idea and a really cool place. I had no idea this was all back here. Self-guided walking tour was well worth it in my opinion. So yeah, welcome to Tumacácori National Historic Park. Ah, here we are. Self-guided tour, just like the other ones. Map and interpretive guide. Look, Tumacácori. This is cool. At its peak of activity, this bustling community space served as a backdrop to the lives of nearly 200 mission residents. People walked from here to attend church services, engage in work in the convento, or to go into the fields, gardens, and orchards between the plaza and the river. This is what remains. Running north and south, the Ramada to the right resembles a mission family outdoor cooking and living area. So is that thing over there. Step through the arched entryway and into the remains of the impressive nave, the central hall of the church. In this room, indigenous people and Spanish settlers prayed and celebrated the Mass each day. There were no pews. People knelt or stood during services. Along the walls are 4 side altars where devotional candles might have been placed. In the walls above are niches where ornate statues of saints once stood. Along the interior walls, weathering has exposed the sun-dried adobe bricks made by mission residents. The once brightly painted walls were decorated by the steady hands of artisans, both indigenous and Spanish. Facing the front door of the church, you can see where the choir loft once stood. Oh yeah. To the right of the church entrance is a small room where the baptisms were taking place. The sacristy served as a priest's office. It housed the holy vestments and other objects for Mass. The priest would spend hours working by candlelight in this room. The mission records are a treasure trove of information, but require some skill to interpret. They were handwritten with a quill pen in the now antique Spanish. The 14 niches along the walls in the surrounding cemetery would have held paintings or sculptures of the Catholic Stations of the Cross. Oh. Although burial records exist for Tumacácori from 1755 to 1825, the first burial in this cemetery took place in 1822. The previous cemetery was next to the Jesuit-era church. Many of the dead were victims of the terrible epidemics of smallpox, measles, and typhus that swept through the missions. While records describe nearly 600 burials at Tumacácori, any evidence of mission-era graves were destroyed long ago. Little Juanita Allegra, who died of influenza at the age of 9 months in 1916, was the last person buried at Tumacácori. Wow. This is the storeroom. The storeroom's 2-story structure was the tallest part of the convento complex. Its wide staircase led to an upper level, which was supported by heavy pine beams hauled from the heights of the Santa Rita Mountains. The large beams were, in turn, supported by 2 thick adobe piers. On the right side of the doorway are depressions where large clay jars filled with seed and grain were stored for the next season's crops. The storeroom surpluses and deficits were the measure of the success or failure of the mission. A well-stocked storeroom allowed the purchase of clothing or other resources. Empty shelves signaled stress. Very pretty.